What if the moment you were told to fear never arrived with a sound? What if the AI singularity did not happen in a single day, but dissolved into the background of ordinary years? From the archive of 2100, we open Signal File, the AI singularity debate. Your century framed it as a race with a finish line. Your century measured it with graphs that pointed up and to the right. Verifiable fact 1. In 2024, large language models could process and generate text across hundreds of tasks with a single system. Verifiable fact 2. In 2025, multimodal models began to combine vision, audio, and text in one architecture. But the data from showed something odd. The word singularity implied a threshold, yet the metrics your scientists tracked were continuous. There was no step function in the curves. There was only slope. This matters because a culture that expects a door to open will not notice when a room is already changing shape. We begin with the definition your era used. Singularity meant a point where artificial intelligence would improve itself faster than humans could follow, leading to an abrupt departure in capability. The concept borrowed from mathematics, where a function becomes undefined. Your public debate asked when it would happen. The archive shows the better question was different. The question was whether the concept described reality at all. Verifiable fact 1. In 2023, researchers published benchmarks showing model performance increased with scale, data, and compute. Verifiable fact 2. By 2026, the gains from scale alone were slowing, and researchers shifted focus to data quality, tool use, and reasoning methods. Speculative insight. The pattern suggests your century was tracking a diffusion, not a detonation philosophical frame. This matters because a map that labels a cliff where there's a ramp will cause travelers to brace at the wrong time. At this point in the archive, we detected the first anomaly. The anomaly was not in the models. The anomaly was in the expectation. Your media described a before and an after. Your engineers described iteration. Iteration does not produce an after. Iteration produces a long during. But the real question is this. If there is no single moment, how does a society decide it has changed? Open loop 1, the measurement problem of transformation. Open loop 2, the role of narrative in calibrating attention. We will return to both. For now, consider the evidence your era already held. Verifiable fact 1. In 2025, autonomous agents could browse code and call tools under human oversight. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, evaluations for long-horizon tasks showed reliability improved, but failure modes remained in edge cases. Speculative insight. The path of progress resembled infrastructure more than invention philosophical frame. This matters because infrastructure is adopted when it's boring, and boring things are not watched for thresholds. The debate in your time split into two camps. One camp argued that recursive self-improvement would ignite a fast takeoff. The other camp argued that physical limits, data limits, and alignment work would enforce a slow takeoff. Both camps shared an assumption. They assumed takeoff was the right metaphor. Verifiable fact 1. Flight requires lift overcoming weight in a discrete transition from ground to air. Verifiable fact 2. Digital capabilities spread through networks, protocols, and interfaces, which are adopted piece by piece. Speculative insight. The better metaphor may be tide, not takeoff philosophical frame. This matters because you prepare for tides with seawalls and drainage, not with countdown clocks. Close open loop 1. Measurement of transformation requires thresholds you can audit. We define 3: task breadth, task length, and error cost. Task breadth is how many distinct jobs a system can do without retraining. Task length is how many steps it can complete without human help. Error cost is what happens when it fails. Your century tracked breadth well. It tracked length poorly. It externalized error cost. But the real question is this. Why did your debate fixate on speed when the lived effect was distribution? Open loop 3, the geography of capability. Open loop 4, the economics of trust. Distribution means some sectors saw a rapid change while others saw almost none. A hospital records office in 2025 could draft summaries in seconds. A small machine shop in 2025 still waited on parts. The singularity, as imagined, would arrive everywhere at once. The reality arrived in patches. Verifiable fact 1. In 2024, Cloud APIs made new models available to millions within weeks. Verifiable fact 2. In 2025, enterprise deployment lagged due to privacy, compliance, and integration work. Speculative insight. Capability and adoption moved on different clocks philosophical frame. This matters because people experience adoption, not capability, and adoption is gated by human systems. Before we go further, a clarification from the archive. This is not a denial of progress. This is a redecryption of shape. Progress existed. It was visible. It was measured. The shape was not a spike. The shape was a slope with plateaus. Verifiable fact 1. Benchmarks like MMLU and GSM 8K showed year-over-year gains from 2022 to 2025. Verifiable fact 2. Gains slowed as tests saturated and new. Harder tests were created. Speculative insight. Your century kept moving the finish line because the track was a loop philosophical frame. This matters because society that chases a moving line may miss the ground it is already covered. At the 4-minute mark of this archive, the first major paradigm crack appears. The crack is this. Your debate treated intelligence as a single substance that could be poured into a container until it overflowed. Your engineering treated intelligence as a bundle of skills tied to data, sensors, and actuators. A bundle does not overflow. A bundle expands, then it thins. Then it needs new material. Verifiable fact 1. In 2026, robotics progress depended on real-world data, safety testing, and mechanical reliability. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, software agents improve with better memory, planning, and tool interfaces. Speculative insight. The container model misled the forecast philosophical frame. This matters because the wrong container leads you to wait for a flood while a drought of data limits the field. But the real question is this. If the singularity was a misnamed gradient, what did your century actually fear? Close open loop 2. Narrative calibrates attention. The story of a single moment focused attention on a hypothetical God in a box. It defocused attention from 1,000 small trades between convenience and control. Open loop 5. The ledger delegation. Every time a person chose a faster answer over a slower check, a line was added to that ledger. The ledger was public. It was called the product update. Verifiable fact 1. In 2024, code assistants were used by millions of developers. Verifiable fact 2. In 2025, legal, medical, and financial drafts were routinely co-written with models under review. Speculative insight. The real transition was not machine will, but human habit philosophical frame. This matters because habits compound faster than headlines, and habits are harder to reverse. We now challenge a deeply held 21st century belief. The belief was that intelligence alone produces agency. The archive shows otherwise. Agency requires goals, persistence, and permission to act in the world. Verifiable fact 1. In 2026, systems could plan multi-step tasks when given tools and permissions. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, those permissions were granted by people bound by law, policy, and liability. Speculative insight. Agency was leased, not seized philosophical frame. This matters because a lease capability can be revoked, audited, and bounded by the lessor. Your century worried about a jailbreak. The archive shows the jail was built by contract, and the keys were kept in public drawers labeled compliance. At this point in the archive, we examine the second crack. The crack is economic. Your debate often price intelligence as if it were a single good. The market priced it as a stack of services. Summarization, translation, search, coding, design, tutoring. Each had a price. Each had a substitute. Each had a failure cost. Verifiable fact 1. In 2025, inference costs declined with hardware and optimization. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, the cost of reliability, monitoring, and redress rose with adoption. Speculative insight. The cheapest part of intelligence was generating words. The expensive part was being responsible for the philosophical frame. This matters because a society pays for responsibility, and responsibility does not scale like tokens. But the real question is this. If responsibility does not scale, what scaled instead? Close open loop 3. The geography of capability. What scaled was interface. The browser, the chat box, the API, The plug-in. Interfaces are doors. Doors do not change the size of a room. They change how many people can enter. Verifiable fact 1. In 2024, the median time to deploy a new model to users was measured in days. Verifiable fact 2. In 2025, the median time to change a workflow inside a large organization was measured in quarters. Speculative insight. The bottleneck lived in process, not process or philosophical frame. This matters because process is human, and human process changes when trust, training, and incentives align. Open loop 6. The definition of intelligence you used. Your century inherited a test from 1950 that asked if a machine could imitate a human in conversation. By 2025, imitation was cheap. Understanding remained expensive. Verifiable fact 1. In 2026, models passed many exams written for humans. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, models still failed at tasks requiring long-term grounding in a changing world. Speculative insight. Your tests measure performance on closed books, while life is an open-world philosophical frame. This matters because a society that trains for the test will be surprised by the world. At the 12-minute mark, the archive notes a quiet reversal. Your early debate asked whether machines would become like people. By 2026, the practical question had inverted. It asked how people would change to work with machines. Schedules shifted. Job descriptions shifted. Education shifted. Verifiable fact 1. In 2025, universities added courses on prompt design, evaluation, and oversight. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, many job listings included proficiency with AI tools as a baseline skill. Speculative insight. The adaptation vector pointed at humans' first philosophical frame. This matters because the story of replacement hides a reality of reconfiguration. But the real question is this. If the change was reconfiguration, who did the reconfiguring? Close open loop 4. The economics of trust. The answer is teams. Small groups inside companies, schools, hospitals, and labs ran trials. They kept what reduced error. They dropped what added risk. They wrote new checklists. They did not wait for a decree. They did not wait for a day. Verifiable fact 1. In 2024, open source models allowed local testing without data leaving a site. Verifiable fact 2. In 2025, evaluation suites became part of procurement. Speculative insight. The locus of control was local and iterative philosophical frame. This matters because local control produces uneven change, and uneven change feels like no change until it's everywhere. We reached the 15-minute region. The debate in your century used the word takeoff. The archive prefers the word uptake. Uptake has a curve. It has a ceiling. It has regulators. Verifiable fact 1. In 2026, regulators in multiple regions required disclosure, logging, and risk assessment for high-impact systems. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, insurers began to price model use in professional services. Speculative insight. The curve of uptake was bent by liability philosophical frame. This matters because liability is a governor on speed, and governors exist to prevent engines from tearing themselves apart. At this point in the archive, we address a subtle error. Your century conflated capability with intent. A system that can write a plan does not want to execute it. Wanting requires a loop that maintains a goal across time and against resistance. Verifiable fact 1. In 2026, agents had short-term objectives set by users. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, long-term autonomous goal management remained an unsolved research problem. Speculative insight. The missing piece was not power, but purpose that persists philosophical frame. This matters because society that fears purpose and machines should study how purpose is built, not how power is scaled. But the real question is this. If purpose was the missing piece, why did your debate talk so little about it? Close open loop 5. The ledger of delegation. Because delegation is easier to discuss than purpose. Delegation is a transaction. Purpose is a commitment. Transactions can be priced. Commitments require trust. Your markets price transactions. Your culture had not yet built institutions for machine purpose. Verifiable fact 1. In 2025, agent frameworks let users define goals and tools. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, most deployments still use humans to set check and stop goals. Speculative insight. The human remained the keeper of purpose philosophical frame. This matters because the keeper of purpose is the author of consequence. We arrive at the 18-minute mark. From a perspective of 2100, the powerful reframing is simple. Your century did not live through a singularity. It lived through a standardization. Language, images, code, and actions were translated into common formats. Those formats allowed machines to move them, combine them, and return them on request. Verifiable fact 1. In 2024, file formats and APIs were the main bridges between systems. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, tool use by models depended on clear interfaces and documentation. Speculative insight. The revolution was in plumbing, not prophecy philosophical frame. This matters because plumbing is invisible when it works, and civilizations are built on invisible plumbing. At this point in the archive, we close Open Loop 6, the definition of intelligence. The archive now uses a working definition. Intelligence is the ability to reduce uncertainty under constraints across time with feedback. By that definition, your machines were intelligent in narrow bands. Your organizations were intelligent in wide bands. The debate of your century compared a narrow band to a wide band and called the difference a countdown. The archive compares bands to bands and calls the work integration. But the real question is this. If integration was a task, what did your century integrate? It integrated knowledge with action through interfaces. It integrated past data with present queries through retrieval. It integrated human judgment with machine speed through review. Verifiable fact 1. In 2025, retrieval augmented generation became a default pattern. Verifiable fact 2. In 2026, evaluation and monitoring became standard in deployment checklists. Speculative insight. The real event was the birth of a new literacy philosophical frame. This matters because literacy changes what society can ask, and what it can ask changes what it can become. We now close the final open loops. The measurement problem of transformation is solved by auditing breadth, length, and error cost over time. The geography of capability is mapped by adoption, not by parameter count. The ledger of delegation is balanced by clear responsibility and visible review. The definition of intelligence is maintained as a composite, not a substance. The economy of trust is priced by reliability, not by novelty. The missing purpose is assigned by humans, with machines as executors. From 2100, we ask, what certainty from your time will fall next? Next signal examines why gravity was never a force. Signal stable. Archive updated. Transmission paused.